What's good with y'all today, man? I'm about to be talking about how to stay productive as a full-time YouTuber and or an entrepreneur. It can be very tough, especially if you ever just transition from a 9 to 5 straight into entrepreneurship, or you just diving into the YouTuber world and you just like, what do I do with all of this time? You hear a lot of people say utilize your time, but what does that actually mean and how do you utilize your time properly? First thing that I would say is whether it's YouTube or whether it's being an entrepreneur, you want to do something that you love, because that's how you're going to end up utilizing the most of your time. Naturally, you don't want to be putting time into something that you don't love, and that's just normal. So focus on something that you love first and foremost. That way you at least have an incentive there to wake up and do what you got to do. I mean, nobody likes going to a job if you don't like it. You kind of just have to do it for money. When you actually enjoy something, you have a reason to get up and do it. So that's the first step that I would say goes into being productive as a full-time YouTuber or an entrepreneur. The second thing that I would say is make sure that you have a goal in mind. I don't necessarily believe in scheduling and, hey, I have to do this at 1 o'clock, this at 2:30. That's just too hectic for my mind. Personally, my mind doesn't work that way, but I heavily believe in to-do list or a task list. So if you make a list of things that you have to do for your channel, your business, it's a lot easier to say, I need to knock these out by the end of the day versus saying, oh, I need to complete this by 2:30. And then if you're not, now your head is all in the whack. Like, oh my God, I didn't complete it. Just have tasks in mind and stick to that schedule. It's not gonna help you if you don't stick to the schedule. So you gotta be disciplined in making that task and being realistic and saying, hey, let me list out some things that I know that I can actually get done. Another pro tip that I would give you is whatever time you could invest into it, invest it into it. Like if it's 20 minutes, I know it may seem small because you might see people going in for hours to their profession, but if you're not there yet and you can't afford to give that much time to it, give whatever time you can. If it's 20 minutes, use that 20 minutes, utilize the 30 minutes, use 35 minutes, whatever you can do, give that time to it. You're gonna be thankful that, hey, I at least put 30 minutes into my business, into my YouTube channel, because overall, if you're looking to be a full-time YouTuber, it is essentially a business. So you want to be investing as much time as you can. So even if it's just 30 minutes, go ahead and put that 30 minutes in. You're gonna be thankful that you did that. There we go, I had to flip that. Another tip that I would give you guys if you want to be productive being a full-time YouTuber or entrepreneur, and this is one that I personally struggle with a lot, is wake up as early as possible. With respect to your sleeping schedule, I would say that, because some people don't wake up at 5 a.m. because they might go to sleep at 5 a.m. If that's your schedule and that's what works for you, that's okay, but you do want to wake up and have enough time to work throughout the day, and you do want to respect your sleep. Sleep is very, 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 very important, and you want to take care of your body and your mind and, you know, all of these things. So sleep is important. Don't sacrifice your sleep for, you know, work if you don't have to. Now you got to see what's right for you, but you want to make sure that you actually giving yourself enough time in this 24 hours to optimize those hours. You know what I mean? You got to shower, you got to eat, you got relationships that you got to keep up with family and friends and stuff. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time throughout the day to even get these things done. If you're asking yourself, what can I do with my 24 hours? That's one of the best things you could do right up front, because it gives you a playing field to say, these are how many hours I have to work with, rather than sleeping 14 hours. You know what I mean? Come on. Another super pro tip that I would give anybody that's trying to be productive being a full-time YouTuber, or you're an entrepreneur and you have your business, is experiment with things. I find myself like, once you know something, you get so locked into that you end up stop experimenting with things. Whether that be lighting, like you see the lights around me, whether that be learning new things about your craft, your business, or whatever thing you're putting your time into. Learn more about that, experiment more with that, and just see where you can improve overall. Like what aspects can you bring to the table that you may be lacking in. Also, just brainstorming different ways to streamline that work and see how you can make your work more efficient for you and more time effective, because time is money. As a full-time YouTuber, you have 24 hours again, so you want to make sure you're using this time as wisely as possible. I named about 5 different things that you can do with that 24 hours if you have spare time. You can do all of those things to help you improve your business or your YouTube channel if you're looking to do it full time. And listen, I hope that you guys have a pencil or pen, or you writing in your notepad or something like that, because I can talk pretty fast, but these are all very, very, very important points. So I really want you to write this down and not forget any of them. Another point that I want to give you is to contact other people that is doing what you're doing. They don't have to be big names, but just anybody locally, anybody that you see maybe has the same amount of followers as you, because you want to relate to people. You want to be able to build relationships with people that understand what you're going through on a day-to-day basis. Somebody else who understands that grind, somebody else who understands what you may be battling and building your channel or your business. So it's important that you're building relationships with other people that may be going through what you're going through as well. Another thing I want to throw out there for you guys to write down is avoid all distractions. I know our phones can be like very distracting. Sometimes you got people around you that can be really distracting. Maybe you have kids that's all in the way, cousins, nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters. Somebody can be all in the way of you actually getting your work done. But you got to tell yourself and let other people know that you need time. You just need a few minutes, an hour, hour and a half, however much you can give to it, to say, I need to focus all my time and energy right here, right now, so that you can move forward. So you want to avoid all distractions. It's not just phones. Sometimes it can be people and friends and stuff. And you want to make sure that they understand that you're trying to go far. You want to be as productive as possible, and avoiding distractions is definitely one of those things that's going to help you utilize that 24 hours and use that time as much as possible to your advantage. Here's another pro tip that I want you to remember this. Please, please, please don't forget it. Pick the tools that you want to use and stick with them. Now, when I said learning different things, that means learn how to improve upon what you already have. If you have lights, if you don't have lights, if you're using your phone to record, or if you're using whatever you're doing with your business, even if it's not YouTube, pick those tools and stick with them. You don't want to keep on constantly saying, hey, I need a new laptop to do XYZ. Hey, I need a new camera because it has this feature. Hey, I need a new light because it has this feature. You don't want to get locked in on what you need instead of focusing on what you have. So learn what you have and use it as much as possible. And those limits can end up pushing you way further than you thought you could go because you had no choice but to use what you had. So just try not to get so caught up in the latest and greatest and the new fad and what you gotta have here and what you gotta have there. Use what you got. Pick those tools, use them, master them. Don't keep on learning new programs over and over and over. What you need to do is make sure you master what you have right in front of you. A lot of people don't know, and if you're not familiar with my other channel that I have, I'll link it down in the description below, but all of my sketches I've ever shot have been edited on iMovie, which is a free program. And people will be like, yo, you don't use Sony Vegas, you don't use Final Cut, you don't use Premiere. I utilize what I need and what I have. And that's the best thing that you can do. I've mastered iMovie. I know how to work it from top to bottom, and I know how to work extremely fast. So I'm not constantly sitting there learning new programs and learning 5 different programs to edit on. I picked the tools that I needed and I have them right in front of me and I mastered that. Now, if I have spare time, of course, you can go and learn different things. But as somebody who's trying to be as productive as possible, doing YouTube and doing your business, you wanna pick those tools, you wanna stick with them, and you want to just master that craft as much as you can. Here's a big tip, and this is something that, I mean, I wish I did this early on since I started YouTube, since I started all of this 6+ years ago. Write down every single idea that you have. It can be a terrible idea, and it may not seem like it, but down the line, that can help you when you have days where you're like, what should I do? What should I shoot? Even if it's your business and you're like, how can I expand more? How can I grow more? How can I elevate my business even more? And you may go back to those notes that you wrote down and be like, here's an idea. And it may not feel as amazing in that moment, but when you're out of ideas creatively and you don't know where to go, that list is gonna come so much in handy, and you're gonna look at that and you'll be able to adjust different things if you got to take them away, add certain things like that. But you're gonna wish that you had that list. I can't count how many times that I looked in my notes and was like, oh, if I only wrote this down on like a notepad or something like that, and just keep them in your phone or in your pad and just go back to them every now and then and add even more. They're gonna be super helpful to you one day. And the final tip to anybody that wants to be productive, being a full-time YouTuber or entrepreneur for your business, you just gotta stop making excuses. I don't want to sound rude or I don't want to sound like pushy or anything like that, but that is the best advice I can give. So many people make excuses. I talk to so many people that are way more talented than me, way more just whatever you are more than me, and the only difference between me and the next person is that I'm executing. I'm not making excuses for myself. I'm not saying, you know what, I'm tired today, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. I'm waking up and I'm going hard. I'm thinking about things every day. I'm writing stuff down every day. I'm learning every day. I'm growing every day. It's not a day that I'm just sitting around scrolling and watching TV and I haven't put into my business, my YouTube channel, growing myself, or just learning more things. And I think that is the biggest thing that we try to give ourselves is excuses. And we don't account for the fact that every excuse that we give ourselves is an opportunity that we could have taken to grow and elevate even more. So you want to get away from giving yourself these excuses and giving yourself that leeway and say, hey, well, I don't have to put into my business today. I don't have to learn anything else on YouTube today. I'll do that at another time, because one day turns to two, two turns to five, five turns to a week, and then a week turns to two, 2 weeks turn to a month, and so forth and so on. So it's just like you want to nip it in the bud right then and there and say, you know what, I am going to stop making excuses, and I'm going to take everything that Now said and I'm going to utilize it, and I'm going to start putting in that work. I guarantee if you wrote all of these tips down, you will be successful, you will be productive, you will have an amazing channel, you will have an amazing journey. Trust me, these are tried and true methods from not just me, but from every entrepreneur, every business owner, every YouTuber that had to make it at some point and has to grind, and we're all still grinding. But I'm just giving you these tips because nobody ever told me these things. I had to figure them out. So make sure that y'all write these things down. If you have to go back and scroll through the video slowly, make sure you do that and write them down and utilize all these tips, man. Make sure that y'all drop a comment if you learned anything from this video. I hope that this helps some of you guys out. Make sure you go check out my other channel, Nowsy Nows. I'll link it in the description if you have never seen it before. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. Share this with anybody who may have a business, anybody who may be looking to grow a YouTube channel, or if you're looking to grow a YouTube channel, drop it down in the comments and let me know if this helped you in any way. Y'all be seeing me next time, and I hope to see you guys here next time as well. I am out.